hate when people say that wheelchairs are only for people who need them. Because when they say that, what they mean is wheelchair users are for people who are paralyzed. But not everyone who is a wheelchair user, who uses a wheelchair, who needs a wheelchair, is paralyzed.
Let's talk about this for a few minutes and see if we can break this down. You know, if these are the future leaders of our country, if you think we're in bad shape right now, you better buckle up because it's only going to get worse. That person is trying to make a case that no matter your disability, your size, your age, everyone should be afforded a wheelchair. Wheelchairs are not just for handicapped people or paralyzed people or toddlers or babies. No. They're for people who are overweight by choice. Now, before I go on, let me say this. I'm not shitting on that person, okay? Because I do understand that some people can't control their weight. They have medical conditions where they have no choice. They try and try and try, and they cannot lose weight. I understand that. But all of the people we see today, the overweight people, the obese people, you see them in the supermarket all the time, and just look in their carriage and look what you see. All the sugary drinks, all the sugary foods, the cereals, the cookies, the chips. You don't see fruits, vegetables, proteins. No, I see it all the time. I see it every weekend. And that's their business. If they want to live their life that way, that's absolutely their prerogative. But why should we, or business owners for that matter, have to purchase wheelchairs because they don't want to walk, because they don't want to get healthy? That's not the business owner's problem. No, it's not the state's problem or the government's problem. It's their problem. Okay, what are we doing by enabling these people to not get healthy? How can she, if she doesn't have a medical condition, go to her physician, and the physician doesn't say, you need to change your diet, you need to exercise, and you need to lose weight, or you're going to die?
The problem here is that of the people who say, oh, wheelchairs are only for people with real disabilities, fat people should just walk, there's two groups that say that kind of thing. So the first group believes that fat people who are using a wheelchair or a scooter don't actually need it at all. They believe that if you are a fat person in a wheelchair or a scooter, you are not using it because you are having any sort of physical pain. What you're using it for is because you are tired, you're maybe out of breath, you get winded when you walk, not to the extent of any sort of like disability, and that there's nothing like preventing you from walking other than feeling fatigued because you're carrying more weight. Specifically just because you're carrying more weight, not because of another disability that causes fatigue. But I do just want to point out that feeling fatigue is a justifiable and fair reason to have to use a mobility aid. Whether or not you know why you're feeling the fatigue, whether or not you have a diagnosed disability. The second group of people are a little bit different because I think that they know that if you are a fat person using a wheelchair, it is because you are in some sort of pain. That being said, they believe that the pain is deserved because without the weight of your fat body, you would no longer be in pain. They don't understand that pain as coming from some sort of injury. And I think that they believe that every single fat person who weighs a certain amount in their mind has the same type of physical pain. They believe that if you work through the physical pain that you're in and just work harder or diet better or whatever they're thinking, that the pain would go away, again, because it's not based in an injury or other sort of undiagnosed or diagnosed disability. But you don't get out if you do have a diagnosed disability because then they'll say that disability, the symptoms are worsened because of your weight. And so you still should just walk.
So yeah, you heard her. We think that because they say they're feeling pain and fatigue, that's a justifiable reason why she should have a wheelchair. We don't think anything, okay? What we do think, if you're fat, and I'm saying fat because she kept saying over and over. I prefer to say obese because that's what it is. But she's calling herself a fat person. And she gets fatigued and out of breath when she walks. So she wants a wheelchair. Well, how about this? If you can get in and out of your house, get in your car and drive wherever you're going, get your own wheelchair, put it in the back of your vehicle, and take it out when you get there and wheel yourself around. Are you asking for someone to be there to push you in it? Because if you're having trouble walking because you're getting out of breath, what makes you think that pushing yourself in a wheelchair is going to be any better? It's not. It's the same thing, only you're sitting down, but your arms now have to move all of that weight. This is a preventable problem. The majority of adults today who are obese in this country, they do it because they can't control their diets. Okay? I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, but I think I know a little bit. All you need to do is change your diet and exercise a little bit, and slowly your body will begin to change. You shouldn't demand that you be offered a wheelchair. So if you're, say, you're going to an airport, okay, you have to go through security and then you have to walk a distance to your gate. And you see people in wheelchairs, and the majority of them are elderly people. But you want the airport to put you in a wheelchair and wheel you to the gate because you're overweight. That's absolutely absurd. But this is where we are today in this country, where they enable these people and pacify them and give them anything they want. We have enough problems, okay, in our world. We have enough problems in our personal lives. And only you can make the change. If you choose to be that way, that's on you. Don't point the finger at other people because they're saying you're only lazy. You say you can't breathe, you're fatigued because you're fat. And again, she said she was fat, not me. I'm only repeating it. Change yourself. It's not someone else's obligation to give you a wheelchair because you choose to be lazy. And again, if it's a medical condition where you can't control your weight, I'm all for it. Yes, someone should be pushing you around in a wheelchair. But just because you're lazy and you think you're entitled to it, it doesn't make it right. And it doesn't have to be provided to you. Do it yourself. Get your own if you want it. But stop this nonsense because it's only making you look worse than you already do. Cut it out. Fix your body, fix yourself, fix your mind, because that way of thinking is getting you absolutely nowhere. Our country is, you know what? We all know what's going on in this world. And the Gen Z of today, please pray that there's never a military draft, because the Gen Z of today, we are doomed, okay? And that person is part of it. Wheelchairs for fat people. We're going to be seeing this probably someday because the Democrats will approve it and demand that all fat people have wheelchairs. Cut the nonsense and change yourself and end it. And that's it. So thanks for tuning in. If you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Share this video with someone because I think it's funny. Okay? And I should feel bad, but I don't because they're doing it to themselves. Okay? Don't demand a wheelchair when you can fix your problem. Hope everybody's healthy and safe. Have a great night, and I'll see you soon.